Are you in school, like already applied for a HELB loan? Have you finished school and you need to pay your HELB loan? Or are you thinking of applying for a HELB loan after joining uni? Welcome to Conversations with Elena Kimaru. On today's video, I wanted us to talk about the things they don't tell you about the HELB loan, the higher education's loan that we usually like really apply for when we join uni or college and all that. So I would say from my own personal experience, when I joined campus, I didn't know much about how the loan works and what is expected of me. So I was quick to jump into the bandwagon of, oh, let me get the loan. I didn't even assess if I really needed it. And I would say, before I even get into the things that they don't tell you about the HELB loan, there are different types of students. There are those who really need the HELB loan to pay for their school fees. There are those people who like usually just take it because everyone else is taking it, and then there are those people who take it and they might not be sure initially how they want to use it, but either sometimes it becomes a blessing or it ends up being a frustration for them. So when I joined uni, I didn't know. No one told me whether I should take it or not. So for me, I would say from where I stand right now, I took a HELB loan that I would say, if I had gotten like someone to sit me down, advise me on it, maybe I really didn't need it, because actually I had a scholarship in uni, and when I took my HELB loan, of course I didn't like misuse it. I used it for other better reasons, but to say the truth, since I already had a scholarship, I really didn't need to take a HELB loan, but I didn't have anyone to tell me that. And I remember when I got my HELB loan, I got the minimum, and some people were like, oh, you can actually, from your background, you can actually apply and request appeal to them so that they can give you the maximum. So at that time, the the minimum was 35,000, and someone somewhere was already advising me to appeal so that I can get the maximum. And yeah, I went, I got letters to appeal, and I came back to the house with the letters. I looked at the letters, I applied, but I never sent them to HELB. I never appealed, and I think that was the best decision I ever made. And I remember when I was in second year, at some point, I started questioning, do I really need that HELB loan? Should I apply for the subsequent loan, or just leave it to be after I have applied for first and second year? I don't apply for subsequent for that and fourth year. But again, I would say, for me, due to peer pressure and feeling like I really needed it, I continued applying for the subsequent loans. So I would say, for example, if you're confused on whether you want to take a HELB loan and you don't know maybe if you might need it or not, I would say apply if you want to. But since for the other years, like each year you have to make an application to get, like, there are subsequent applications that you can get a loan for the next year. If you get to a point that you feel like, oh, by the way, I really don't need this HELB loan, then don't apply for the subsequent the subsequent like loan. Just let it be. And maybe if you applied first year, then and you don't need it in second year, then just leave it. Because from where I stand, I used to see like most people used to apply for their loans. I know people, as I said, people have different reasons why they're applying. There are people who really need it, and then there are people who used to like get the loan, they would go buy shoes, buy clothes. Others would drink like for a whole week. They would drink, they'll be like sisi in a keg, sisi in a, I can't remember the other beer that was so popular when I was in school. They would drink the HELB loan like no one's business. So the reason why I really wanted us to have this conversation is because I recently, in a Facebook group I am in, somebody asked the question. They were like, oh, by the way, do you guys usually pay your loan? They're freelancers. Do you usually pay your loan? And then a lot of people had, and I actually wanted to do this also earlier, even before I saw that post. a lot of people had opinions. They were like, me, I can't pay. Me, I'm not paying. Me, I'm not like, a lot of people gave a lot of reasons why they're not paying their loan. And I feel like most of those people, either they're doing it or out of ignorance, or I don't know why. But trust you me, after what I'll tell you today, then maybe this will change your mind. So if you're a student, I would say first, before you, or you are looking into joining uni or college, first, before you take a HELB loan, look at, ask yourself questions. Do you really need it? For example, do you have someone to pay for your school fees? If you do, then maybe under upkeep, maybe ask yourself if you really need it. If you don't need it, then don't apply. Because I feel like sometimes if you have someone to pay for your school fees, like your parents, or you have a scholarship, and maybe the only thing that you're struggling with is upkeep, you can find like odd jobs, after school jobs, and then you can pay for your upkeep or something of the sort. So you don't necessarily need to take a HELB loan. So anyway, before you take it, like really drill down on the reasons why you need this HELB loan, because it's not a token. It's not a token of appreciation because you've gotten to college or uni level. No, it's not a token of appreciation. And I think a lot of people mistake it. They think like it's a birthday gift. Sorry to say, but it's because of the experience I had and the things I've had people say and the things I saw people do with their HELB loan while I was in school or even after school. Yeah, so it's not a present, for your hard work. It's really not a present for your hard work. HELB loan is a loan that has an interest every year. Yeah, so as I said, for me, if I had all the facts I have right now, I would probably never have applied for a HELB loan. Yes, and then now getting into what this video is really about, things they don't tell you about the HELB loan. I would say, like, for example, no one really told me after how long I'm supposed to start paying the HELB loan, and I feel a lot of students usually assume this information. So what happens is people clear school and they start either working or they're not working, depending on the circumstances, and they don't pay for the loan. So the one fact that you need to know about the HELB loan is you're supposed to pay your HELB loan 1 year after you've completed school. So if, for example, if you completed school in 2020, you only have a grace period of 2021, and then in 2022 you're supposed to start paying. So you have approximately 1 year, and then you start paying for your HELB loan, and the government doesn't care whether you have work or you're not working. That's up to you. So when I started paying my HELB loan, I think it was like also a year after I had completed school, if I'm not wrong, and I didn't have this information. There's usually not much whatever awareness, and if you don't also do your own research, then you'll be thinking like, oh, I have no job. Ignorance is no excuse. So you'll be thinking like, oh, I have no job, so I don't have to start paying my HELB loan. First, when you clear school, even after that 1 year, if you don't have a job, go to your HELB portal and update whether you have a job or not. And for me, I remember when I called when I contacted the contact center for HELB, I asked them, so if I don't have a job, what am I supposed to do? And they told me, even if you don't have a job, the minimum you're supposed to pay per month is 1,500. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'll check, but the minimum you're supposed to pay is 1,500. So whether you have a job or not, 1 year after you have completed school, you need to start paying for your loan. And another fact that you don't know is every month that you default your HELB loan, you are charged 5,000 shillings as penalty. So imagine if you had a loan of 140k, and then after 1 year is done, the grace period is done, and then again 10 months later you've not been paying your loan because either you didn't do your research or you've just been not paying with the excuse you didn't have a job. No one cares. If you don't pay, so that is like 5,000 times 10 months, that's penalty. So from your HELB loan of 140, you've added a whole 50,000 Kenya shillings to your loan. You feel me? And so who would you blame now when you have like an extra 50,000 to pay? When maybe if you had done your research, and which is why I have done the research for you now, so which is why this video is very constructive. So a penalty of 5,000. Imagine 5,000. 5,000 is a lot of money, and the more it accumulates, the worse it becomes for you. So you have a grace period of 1 year. The penalty for not paying or defaulting every month is 5,000 shillings. And then another fact is you have 120. I didn't actually know this until when I was doing this video, when I did now my more research on this, is that you have approximately 120 months. So that's, for me, I think that's 10 years after you complete school. You have approximately 10 years to make sure that you complete your loan. 10 years looks like it's a lot. Trust me, it's not a lot. And especially if you don't start paying your loan immediately, and then you have a lot of penalties and all that. So if you let your if you default on your loan, and then the penalties keep accumulating, and then either sometimes you don't get like a good job that has good money, you can be able to pay the money maybe in lump sum, or you're like consistently, then 10 years is not a lot. You might end up like dying with debts, which is not right. So approximately 10 years to pay your loan, and as I said, depending on whether you start paying it or not, then it might end up being a burden for you. So make sure, I would say, if you complete school, you're in a position that you can actually pay for this loan. Start paying for that loan immediately. Don't wait on anything, you know. Or if not, if you have completed school, it's already 1 year later and you're not able to pay, make sure you update your status with the HELB portal, and make sure you also start paying the minimum, so that at least you don't like look you're defaulting on your loan and the penalties keep increasing and all that. And then another fact, of course, is that the HELB loan, it earns an interest of 4% per annum. I would say this is very little interest if you ask me. That's why it's not such a bad loan. So yeah, so if you didn't know, now you know, it's only 4%. And another fact is that occasionally HELB usually offers like what is it called, offers waiver for people who pay in lump sum. So for example, if today I felt like, oh, I need to just get done with these HELB loan, and you have like a lump sum amount you want to pay and just get it done with, they can like remove the penalties for you and the interest. So also check with HELB and see if you can get such kind of, I would call it a discount, and that would go a long way in helping you, like, you know, so that you don't have to pay a lot of money when you can actually pay less. And then if you're employed, once you get employment, you're also supposed to like update in your portal that you've gotten employment. And of course, I think they'll ask for details where you will fill where you're employed, who is your employer, and stuff like that. And then after that, it should take like in 3 months time after your employment, then the employer should start deducting from your salary so that you can pay your HELB loan. Okay, so make sure you update such kind of information, and make sure also you follow up with your employer so that they can do the deductions. I was reading somewhere that if the employer does not do the deductions, they'll also be penalized. I think, was it 5%? Yeah, something like that. Those are some of the facts that you need to know about HELB loan. And I feel like, don't act with ignorance. Do your research, by the way. The one thing I feel like a lot of people fail in is because they don't do their research. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna pay. Like as I was telling you, I saw a discussion on Facebook. Someone was like, you know what, I'm not going to pay my HELB loan. And someone asked why, and then they were like, oh, if the government or people in government are stealing money and nothing is happening to them, so what will happen to me if I default on my loan? As I said, you will get interest. And then I feel like, for example, sometimes when you have a lot of loans, it's not a good thing. It doesn't reflect good on you. And I feel like also it will one day maybe probably lock you out of opportunities. Like either sometimes you want to take a loan for a business, but then there's these other, like you've been defaulting on the HELB loan, or maybe you want to travel and the government decides that people who have been defaulting on the loans, they're not gonna get like out of this country. You know, I don't know, but I would say, and then the importance of paying this loan is that it's gonna be able to help another student out there who needs that money. So the fact that you got it, there's also other people who still need it. So if you have been defaulting on your loan, think about it. Every single month you default, you're making your loan grow by 5,000 shillings. So in a year that could be 60,000 shillings. In 2 years that's 120. So if you only had 140, now you have like 240 after 2 years. Do imagine all that amount of money, and maybe the only thing you need to do is to start paying the minimum. So those are some of the things you really need to do, or you need to know about HELB. If you've been defaulting on your loan, start paying your loan today. And if you're a student and you're thinking about taking that loan, if you've not taken it yet, think about the reasons why you're taking the loan. Don't just take it for fun. It's a loan, for heaven's sake. And if you are a student, you've already taken a loan, you're in your year 1 or year 2, you're going to your year 3, and you already now feel like, man, I don't need this loan, then don't apply for the subsequent loan, because it's a loan. It is not a gift, and it's gonna haunt you later in life because you'll still need to pay it, you know. And I don't know, I've heard a lot about the BBI. They're saying they're gonna be giving a grace period of more, I don't know, was it, I can't remember how many years, but of course more than the 1 year. Trust me, still, that's not a gift. It's just postponing. It's postponing a problem, because it's still gonna be paid, whether it's gonna be after 10 years or after how many years. There's just postponing the problem. It's not that it's gone anywhere. Maybe they should have said, oh, we are gonna give free education in universities and colleges. Probably that makes a lot of sense. But a grace period of more than a year, it doesn't necessarily help the student, and especially if they're not creating jobs. So they need to start, for me, I would say, my opinion, they need to start creating opportunities for young people, so that people can actually be able to pay for their loans without necessarily having like a grace period of 7 years. So anyway, I hope you found this video insightful. If you've not been paying your loan, pay. If you've not applied and you don't need it, don't apply. If you've already applied and you don't need a subsequent, don't apply. So thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope you found this video insightful. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one.